Testing. Testing. Okay, Andrew, are we all set? Okay. The board met tonight in executive session. We're now ready to begin the public portion of our program. We last met on February 25th. We've had no public communication since that time. It is certainly, spring is certainly here. According to our good correspondent, Kristen, the girls won their basketball game. We had a wonderful student photography exhibit at the train station 2 weeks ago, which I attended. It was amazing. The district has been through CUSAC. I'm sure you'll talk more about that. And we have our administrative team had CUSAC budget all at once, and we owe them a great debt of thanks for getting through that and getting the district through that and coming through it in one piece. And kudos to Kyle, to Barbara, and all the other district personnel who participated in that. You may have seen on the news that the president has said that he will sign an executive order dismantling the United States Department of Education. That has not happened yet. And legally, only Congress can dissolve the United States Department of Education. However, it could be hollowed out by virtue of firings and other things. But it hasn't happened yet. So one of the things that the Attorney General has recommended, the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey has recommended, is that we try not to react just to every news story, that we wait until something actually happens, and probably we wait till something actually happens and then we see if there are injunctions that come after that. So inasmuch as Glen Ridge receives very little state funding, federal funding, we are in a reasonable position. We don't know how state funding will be affected from the federal government to the state of New Jersey yet, and remains to be seen. But all of our organizations are monitoring that. So that is the President's report. Superintendent's report.
Good evening. Happy to use my space tonight to share some budget information along with Mrs. Murphy. Also happy to start. So budgeting is a complex design challenge, one that requires us to evaluate needs versus wants, align spending with our district priorities, and make difficult decisions to ensure fiscal responsibility while keeping students at the center. This preliminary budget does that work. It keeps students at its center. Tonight's presentation shows how, offering a blueprint rather than a fixed plan. It lays out where we are, where we need to be, and how we can best allocate our resources to sustain the high-quality education our students deserve. Just as architects refine and adjust their designs as they build, we'll continue to refine this budget in the coming weeks to balance fiscal constraints with our commitment to student success, providing additional level of budget details in our April 29th presentation. Until that, our work remains ongoing. We recognize that New Jersey's state funding formula does not equitably serve New Jersey districts, presenting additional hurdles as we work to fund essential programs and services along with unfunded state mandates. At this time, we are contending with rising costs across nearly all areas of district spending, from contractual obligations and health benefits to the increasing costs of facilities maintenance and instructional programming to rising costs associated with professional services. Despite these financial pressures, as you'll see up here, we remain committed to sustaining high academic standards, ensuring strong academic, social, and emotional support for students, maintaining robust curriculum and extracurricular offerings, addressing critical facilities and infrastructure needs, and identifying efficiencies that preserve the student experience while maximizing our available resources. As outlined here in this slide, these budget goals were driving forces in our planning work. As we continue refining the budget between now and its final adoption on April 29th, we're focused on making strategic adjustments that strive to avoid disruptions to student learning, protect our tradition of excellence, and promulgate the innovation work we want to engage in moving forward. This means scouring every available resource, prioritizing initiatives that align with our district's long-term vision, and ensuring any reductions reflect thoughtful efficiencies rather than programmatic sacrifices. Our approach is not just about balancing numbers, as you'll hear tonight. It's about designing a budget that supports our commitment to high-quality teaching and learning and ensures our students, faculty, and staff have access to the resources they need to thrive. I want to extend my gratitude to the leadership team, the Finance Committee, and most certainly and especially our Business Administrator, Ms. Murphy, for their long hours and tireless effort in shaping this budget. Everyone's collective work ensures that we take a measured and strategic approach to our financial planning, allowing us to move forward with both confidence and clarity. With that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Murphy, who will walk us through the details of the tentative budget.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we review the proposed budget for the upcoming school year. So each year, we're committed to a transparent and open budget process. We review our budget development process in a public meeting and make this presentation available on our website, ensuring that the community is informed about the timelines and key deadlines for the upcoming school year's budget. Throughout the year, we meet regularly with our Finance and Facilities Committee, and we review our financial position and refine our budget. Additionally, our budget calendar, which includes all critical dates, is posted on our website. Key dates such as the tentative budget adoption and the public hearing are published on our website and advertised in local newspapers. Before the public hearing, the detailed tentative budget is also advertised in the Star Ledger to further promote accessibility and awareness. Our administrative team meets throughout the school year to assess academic, personal, supply, and facility needs, ensuring that the budget reflects district priorities. Today, the preliminary budget is being presented for board approval. Once approved, it will be submitted to the county for review and approval. The Finance and Facilities Committee will continue to meet, and on April 29th, the public hearing on the budget will be held. That evening, the budget will be presented, and the Board of Education will vote on the final budget. Once approved, it will be submitted to the county. Our revenue comparison. The budgeted fund balance that we're using to support this budget remains largely unchanged from last year. We'll be utilizing $400,000 in a maintenance reserve withdrawal to fund necessary paving repairs at Linden, Central, and Ridgewood Avenue schools. We are also withdrawing $811,235 from the capital reserve to support various capital projects, which I will outline in detail on a different slide later. Our local tax levy is projected to increase by 3.5%. The increase is necessary to help offset rising costs, particularly in health benefits. Also, we are currently in negotiations with the Glen Education Association, which represents over 90% of our staff. While we do not yet have finalized salary figures, we must consider the current high county average salary increases as part of our financial planning. In addition to salary pressures, we are facing a 14% increase in health benefit costs. These two substantial increases have put considerable strain on our budget, requiring us to make some difficult reductions. There are a few allowable exceptions to the 2% cap on tax increases that allow districts to exceed a 2% increase without requiring voter approval. One such exception applies to health benefit premium increases beyond 2%. We have been granted this exception, which allows us to increase taxes above the 2% cap by $521,561 to help directly offset these additional health benefit premiums. Our tuition revenue remains largely unchanged this year. We see a small increase in miscellaneous revenue, primarily due to higher interest rates. And additionally, we are pleased to welcome a 6% increase in state aid in the amount of $142,193. This additional funding will help us fund our salary increases. revenue breakdown. So the pie chart illustrates the composition of our district's revenue sources. The majority of our budget, you can see, is the tax levy at 84%. State aid makes up just 6% of our total revenue. Our budgeted fund balance accounts for 4.8%. And the remaining 5% comes from withdrawals from capital and maintenance reserves, as well as tuition revenue. This breakdown highlights our continued reliance on local tax revenue, while also incorporating state aid reserves and other funding sources to maintain financial stability and support our district's operations. Our tentative budget appropriations comparison. So this slide compares the current 24-25 budgeted expenditures to the proposed 25-26 budgeted expenditures, highlighting key changes and overall financial outlook. Salary increases. Almost all the account lines include salary increases, which contribute to the overall budget adjustments. Regular education instruction is the largest expenditure category, which is $14,332,742, and that remains a primary focus in the budget. Special education instruction at $2,905,000. This category reflects continued support for special ed programs. Instruction other is basic skills and bilingual education. This account shows a 13% increase due to an addition of a part-time multilingual teacher in 24-25, enhancing our support services. Co-curriculars and athletics, a modest increase here, primarily due to salary adjustments for staff involved in co-curricular activities and athletics. Tuition to out-of-district placement sees a slight decrease, reflecting our ongoing efforts to manage tuition costs for specialized placements. Support services, this includes categories such as health services, related services such as speech, OT, PT, extraordinary services, guidance, child study team, library media, and teacher staff training. There's a slight decrease in expenditures. Administration, this category remains stable with no significant changes expected for the upcoming budget cycle. Not clicking. Oh, there we go. Maintenance and operations, we see a significant increase of 19.8%, and that is driven by the $400,000 allocation for paving repairs at Linden, Central, and Ridgewood Avenue schools. This expenditure will be fully funded through a withdrawal from maintenance reserve. There are no significant changes in the transportation budget, and that remains steady. Employee benefits, the total employee benefits increased by 12.5%, largely due to a 14% rise in medical benefit premiums and a 20% rise in prescription premiums. Each year, we check our options for health benefit providers to see if there are any potential savings. But unfortunately, this year, health benefits cost increased overall, and our lowest cost option remains the school employees' health benefit plan. Capital outlay is set to increase by 132%, reflecting the withdrawal of $811,235 from the capital reserve to fund various small projects. So you may recall in 22-23, in that budget, we had allocated approximately $2 million for the high school HVAC upgrades to add air conditioning to the second floor. Sometime after that budget was adopted, we received a grant of $811,000 from the New Jersey Clean Energy for that project. So when the project's completed, all unspent funds are returned to the capital reserve account. So these funds are now being withdrawn to support current projects outlined in this year's budget. The general fund and tax levy, the total general fund, including capital outlay, increases by 6.1%. The tax levy increase is $1,204,595, or 3.5%. This budget reflects our strategic efforts to manage expenditures while maintaining essential services. The budget breakdown by category. So salaries and benefits make up 78% of our budget. This is typical for New Jersey school districts. The salary costs are distributed across all categories except for tuition, capital outlay, and benefits. Here's the breakdown of our budget by category. Regular ed instruction, 34%. Special ed instruction, 7%. Capital outlay, 3%. Employee benefits, 16%. Transportation, 3%. Maintenance and operations, 9%. Administration, 10%. Support services, 11%. Tuition, 5%. Co-curriculars and athletics, 3%. Instruction other, 1%. The allocation ensures that the majority of our funds are dedicated to direct educational services and support for students while maintaining necessary infrastructure, transportation, and employee benefits. Our capital outlay and projects. Our proposed budget includes the following key capital outlay and project expenses. Promethean boards, $72,000. Copier replacements, $53,456. Musical instrument for $8,000. Ridgewood Avenue School basement flooring, $142,203. High school HVAC upgrades, $217,248. That is for the classrooms to the right and left of the high school principal, down either side of the hallway on the first floor. High school partial roof replacement, $288,200. That is for a roof that is between the two gyms. High school offices flooring and abatement is $61,312. That is for the main office and the principal's office. The high school gym bleacher replacement, $244,475. And then the good old assessment for debt service on SDA funding that they make us pay every year, $24,241. So these projects reflect our continued investment in maintaining and improving school facilities, enhancing educational technology, and ensuring long-term sustainability of our infrastructure. So our year-over-year budget increases. Overall, the budget for the upcoming year reflects several key increases. Salary and benefit costs represent the largest increases in our budget. Electric utility rates are anticipating a significant increase in costs due to rising rates. Inflation impact. Overall, we're seeing general cost increases over various categories as a result of inflation. New additions. We're adding a one-to-one nurse to ensure enhanced student support and care. And we will be using a withdrawal from our maintenance reserve to fund much-needed parking lot repairs. Year-over-year budget decreases. The budget for the upcoming year reflects several key decreases. Staff reductions. Due to the rising costs of salaries and benefits, we are implementing staff reductions totaling $199,644, while still ensuring the continuation of essential services. There will also be some reductions in the 6-period stipends and curriculum resources. These budget adjustments reflect the ongoing challenge of balancing rising costs with the need to maintain quality education and services for our students. The tax impact of the general fund and debt service tax levy on an average home assessed at $674,910 is projected to increase by $412.42 a year, or $34.37 per month. This increase reflects the adjustments necessary to fund the proposed budget while maintaining essential services. And our public hearing on the budget, again, is scheduled for April 29th. At this meeting, the budget will be presented in more detail and voted on for adoption.
Thank you, Barbara. Board members, any questions of Barbara before we go to public questions and comments? Heather.
Barbara, I'm just curious for the tuition, how many sections of pre-K did we run, and are they filled for next year?
Yes, so we have budgeted for 3 sections of 20 students, 1 in each school. And then at Central, there's an additional pre-K disabled, but we don't receive funding for that. Anybody
Okay,
else?
other
And
questions?
there's also included in
sorry.
that, Heather, is also, there's a handful of non-resident tuition.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
is the tuition decrease was like coming from anywhere in particular?
It was the pre-K numbers.
Other question?
Actually, it might be a combination of non-resident tuition. I think somebody's graduating too. But
Other questions from board members? Okay. It's now time for public comments and questions on agenda items only, including the budget presentation. For those of you unfamiliar with our protocols, if you have a question or comment, please step up to the lectern, sign in, tell us your name, confirm your Glen Ridge affiliation. If you represent a group, let us know about that. If you have a written text, please give it to Mrs. Murphy so that she can include it in the record. And the time limit is 2 minutes. Those of you who are familiar with us know that we also have another public comment period at the end. But please, if you have a question or comment, please step up. Okay. We will continue with the rest of our agenda then. It is the first meeting of the month, so I realize that some of you may not have had meetings with your committees or liaison assignments since our last meeting, but let's go around. We normally would start with our student rep, who may have gone to the basketball game instead of being here. So let's start with Ray.
Sure.
The only liaison report I have, since we last spoke, the Central School HSA did not meet. However, they have just announced their art fundraiser at Tierney's Tavern for April 10th. And tickets are on sale as we speak.
Okay. Heather?
Curriculum hasn't met since I last reported out. Finance did meet last week, but you've pretty much heard what we've talked about in the presentation.
Okay. Darius?
None for me.
All right. Anthony?
No committee report.
Jocelyn?
Sure. The Ridgewood Home and School Association will be meeting on March 14th, and they're selling tickets currently for the Ridgewood Casino Night, which will take place on March 21st. Grace, the Glen Ridge Association for Special Education, is meeting next on March 26th, and I believe they had a book club meetup on Friday morning last week for those who could attend. And Negotiations Committee is continuing to have conversations with the GREA representatives. Our next meeting will be on the 18th.
All right. Thank you. Tricia?
The middle school, high school HSA meeting was canceled for February. The next scheduled meeting is March 28th, the last Friday of March. I attended the Linden HSA for Kristen, and the notes are as follows. Mr. Caravella reviewed Capturing Kids' Heart, a presentation, which was really nice. He went through like everything which the kids are doing in the school, very well received. March is packed with a lot of different events. They have a promo, so to speak, going on. Got Caught Reading, whereas if you see your child reading, to share it with the staff and they will acknowledge them in school. They had their Author Day this month. A readathon is on March 17th. The book fair is March 27th and 28th. And then parent conferences are this month as well. Their Earth Day cleanup for the Learning Garden is on April 22nd. They're doing a fundraiser sneaker recycling program, right, got that right, which starts March 24th. So if you have any old sneakers or shoes that you want to recycle with your kids, ship them over to Linden. They're doing a Linden stock. Do y'all know what that is? It's like Woodstock. Thank you for telling me that, Rachel.
Without the mud, though?
Yeah. That event will take place at Freeman Gardens in June, where they'll have yoga, meditation, all different kinds of things. Sounds like so much fun. And they have HSA positions open. There are 19 HSA positions open for the 25-26 school year. The nominating period began on March 7th. So if you know anyone who is interested in filling any of those positions, please reach out to the Rachel over there, basically. And even though they're starting early, they're with respect to their spring fling, it's part of the 19 HSA open positions, but looking for co-chairs for their 2026 spring fling.
Okay, thank you. Kristen?
No committee reports.
Okay, Duval?
I have a couple of reports, actually. First of all, a report out on the Communications Committee. We met on February 5th. This was a very exciting meeting. We were with Maggie and our student representative, as well as 5 other, mostly seniors, all seniors and a junior, to talk about school culture and climate at the high school. Topics ranged from homework loads and test schedules to time management, social media, and cell phone use. Many of the students are peer leaders, so they're seniors that have a regular class with 8th graders, and they were able to share their experiences both from their own lives as well as their experiences working with 8th graders. And it seems quite vast, the years between 12th grade and 8th grade in terms of maturity and what kids are up to. And they had some strong opinions about cell phones and use of social media. And the consensus was that it's very important for all of us, school and parents, to teach responsible phone use. And they urged us as the board to consider students' ages and maturity when we make policy. Came through loud and clear, that message. And the committee hopes to continue these sorts of conversations and to hear directly from the source as we go forward. So that was fun. Today, Forest Avenue Home and School had their meeting. We had a daytime meeting. Mr. Murphy also reported on capturing kids' hearts, and he talked about how the program is really hitting its stride. Confidence is up, and affirmations are up, and it's going very well. The school, they have activities planned for Read Across America Week, as well as Women's History Month coming up. They're looking forward to a field trip to the Turtleback Zoo, as well as the Liberty Hall Museum. And the second grade promotion Glow Dance will be this Friday, the 14th. Mr. Murphy announced a Courage Superhero project, where students and teachers will explore what it means to be brave. So they're asking students to draw or talk about what bravery means, and because it can really go across so many categories. And as well, the teachers are going to talk about what bravery means to them, what it means to be brave in all sorts of situations. So I thought that was a creative collaboration. New plantings will be going into the Learning Garden, hopefully by spring break. And last but not least, they are planning a spring carnival on Friday, May 2nd. And then the last report I have is for the Glen Ridge Educational Foundation, which met the day after our last meeting. I think that was like the 26th of February. And we enjoyed a whole program also on capturing kids' hearts in great detail. That was the meat of that meeting. And so going forward, they'll be reviewing requests for grants and mini grants, and we'll hear more about that soon. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, board members, in your package, you had minutes from February 25th, executive session and regular session. Does anyone have any changes, corrections, et cetera? All right, Jocelyn, would you move the minutes?
I'll move item M1.
I may I have a second.
Second.
Second from Ray. Since there are no changes, Barbara, would you call the roll?
Ms. Akinwande? Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Mr. Denard?
Yes.
Mr. De Lorenzi?
Yes.
Ms. Gottlieb?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. Yaros Ramos? Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we have some administrative items. Kristen, would you move the administrative items?
Yes, I'll move A1 through A4.
All right, may I have a second?
Second?
Second from Jocelyn. Any discussion on the administrative items? All right, Barbara, would you call the roll?
Ms. Akinwande? Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Mr. Denard?
Yes.
Mr. De Lorenzi? Ms. Gottlieb?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. Yaros Ramos? Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Personnel, Anthony, would you move the personnel items, excuse me.
Yes, I will move items P1 through P7 on the main agenda and in addition to P1 and items P8 and P9 from the addenda.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second?
Second from Jocelyn. In keeping with our rules and the board members' code of ethics, personnel matters are discussed in exec session. That being the case.
Before you start, there's also an item P10.
Oh, yes, there is.
Sorry.
It's just sitting there all by itself.
All by itself.
We have the motion, the second on personnel items through P10, including P10. Barbara, would you call the roll?
Ms. Akinwande? Mr. Bonnet?
Yes.
Mr. Denard? Mr. De Lorenzi? Ms. Gottlieb?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. Yaros Ramos? Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Curriculum. Heather, would you move the curriculum item?
Sure, I moved the field trips listed under C1.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second, Tricia.
Oh, thank you. All right, any questions on the curriculum item? Barbara, would you call the roll?
Ms. Akinwande? Mr. Bonnet?
Yes.
Mr. Denard? Mr. De Lorenzi? Ms. Gottlieb?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. Yaros Ramos?
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, before we move on the business items, I would like to draw your attention to the items listed on your agenda under B4. Gift from Central Schools Home and School Association, monetary donation of $1,345 for Dinosaurs Rock Fossil Adventure Assembly at Central School. I know the treasurer of that group is with us tonight. Thank you, Ray. With that, Heather, would you move the business items?
Sure. I'm going to move B1 through B8 and then B9, which is on the addenda.
Okay. May I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
I'll give it to Anthony this time. All right, any discussion on the business items, which of course includes the preliminary budget? All right, Barbara, would you call the roll?
Ms. Akinwande? Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Mr. Denard? Mr. De Lorenzi?
Yes, except for item E4, which I have recused myself from due to my role as treasurer of the Central School HSA.
Ms. Gottlieb?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Ms. O'Neill?
Yes.
Dr. Yaros Ramos? Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, we've come to the second public comment period for questions or comments on agenda items or any items pertaining to the running of the schools. The rules are the same, the protocols rather are the same as I outlined before. Does anyone have a question or comment for us? Nothing? All right. That being the case, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Moved by Darius, or was it? Oh, moved by Anthony. All right. May I have a second?
Second.
Second